basically it's all in an effort to like, because rock and roll's hurting right now. There's a lot of people just taking like images or things that carry connotations of different movements, divorcing them of a context, and thus destroying the only thing that's kept rock and roll vibrant, like the honesty and like the kind of, it's always been in critical opposition to something. Like the insurgence of the blues was like people saying, you know, we're people, not slaves. It was like a music of an oppressed people. Rockabilly were teenagers asserting themselves as a social class. In the 60s you had the obvious protest music, and then with punk and industrial, which is kind of where we find kind of like a weird Anglo-centric blues, like in the wake of Freud and Marx and the crumbling of the industrial West and all the Enlightenment projects, you have kind of like this return to a music in critical opposition to the setting which the participants in the music itself rebelled, you know?
Being a band, I guess in the fullest sense, in a way that goes beyond just music, you know, both in terms of visual aesthetics, you know, and actually having something to say, something for the music to stand for, and all the different parts of the equation kind of becoming a unified whole and presenting, you know, concise and coherent, unified, I guess, kind of ideology.
Yeah, exactly. No, like, because that's what we like about punk. The propaganda was in the sleeve. One of the things that keeps rock and roll good is its honesty, and we want to like lay bare our neuroses and like invite people into our subjective space. So like when you're in control of the timbral universe, all the tones in the songs, you can create gear different sounds to like harken to a wider poetic. We've done this before, while forever far away. Want to reinterject pathos into the cultural product that we're putting out, because Lee and I are like both pretty staunch atheists. For us there's nothing other than knowing that we're leaving some point of reference for the next generation to pick up or whatever, you know, because that's like what it's about, communication. Every like piece of art is someone trying to invite you into their subjective space for the sake of granting you some sort of solace, you know. You're miserable, I'm feeling it too, I was feeling it years ago. Like, you can read a Euripides play or a Baudelaire poem, and like, the same set of emotions are there, the same set of feelings are there, and like, in a world where there's not much else, it feels like we need to preserve the dignity of such statements, because, I mean, we don't have anything else to go by. We found our gospels in literature, and rock and roll is like the thing that's brought us into like many political beliefs and many philosophical beliefs, you know?
We definitely had like a good few months of just like, he made me a playlist of stuff that he was into at the time, and I made him a playlist, and we kind of figured out how they correlated.
And we would talk about our personal histories too, like how is this sound gonna capture like your set of experiences and mine, and like often like the definitive moments in songwritings were kind of, it was just like us being like Damaged Boys together, yeah, and then like working it out via drum machine. Cause I'm fought, and I'm fucked, and I'm here, and you're not, in our eyes, your gaze won't be mine. Cause I'm fought, and I'm fucked, and I'm here, and you're not, in our eyes, your I was like in theater in high school, and then like I wanted to study visual art in college, but I'm like way too broke to go to school. So like, I mean, a lot of that comes from like reinterpreted like things that I saw in visual art. Like when Atlas held the world, he held it like this. When Leda was raped by Zeus under the guise of being a swan, she went like this. You know? All these poses are things that I've just noted in classical art. These little gestures that signify a certain set of emotions.
For being such a small town, some pretty rad bands, and there's always crossover with Long Beach because it's so close. But
yeah.
like, I mean, Death Hymn #9 comes to mind, with like White Murder.
Yeah, those are fantastic bands.
Yeah, no, those guys are really good.
They're really good people too.
Yeah, Peter is cool because it's like it's small, but it's not like some of the scenes we found elsewhere in LA where they're really kind of like cliquish and tight-knit.
Yeah.
It was almost too small to have that attitude.
Exactly. No, it's good. There's always like kind of a wanting instead of like a dull self-satisfaction. So it is an appropriate setting for us, I feel, because industrial music in Southern California, I'm pretty sure it looks like this.